Hey guys, so I finally got my brackets for my cube lights and got those installed, and it worked out perfectly. These are the ones from a company called Z Roads. You can see their little emblem on there. They've got a little Z, but pretty much the bracket just you run this windshield hinge screw through there, and then you've got one right over there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Just 2 bolts, and this thing is very sturdy. So I got my cube light on there. Now, one thing I did have to do is I had to use the hardware for the cube light that came with the bracket, because the hardware for the rigid cube light that came with the light didn't work. I was afraid that was going to happen, but the bolt was too long and it was making contact with the body of the Jeep. So thankfully these Z Roads brackets came with their own hardware for actually mounting the light, which kind of saved my bacon, but they look pretty good. Got my wiring tucked way back up under there, so when the hood's closed you can't see it at all. Check out the other, kind of the same deal over here. It just looks really nice. Small amount of the wire showing, the rest of it is neatly tucked down in here. These Jeeps have this feels almost like a styrofoam seal to keep water and road salt and everything from getting back up in there to your wiring. So I'm thinking this would be a really nice installation that should last a long time. Hey, when it gets dark here in a little while, I'll turn these things on one more time now that they're both mounted up, and I'll show you what they look like. So yeah, here's the company I got those brackets from. They're called Z Roads. They even have some really nice color instructions in there. That's something you don't see much of anymore. So I'm pretty happy with these. Those brackets were less than 50 bucks and they worked fantastic. So if you're looking for some cube light brackets to put up on the cow, these are a very economical way to go. Might want to check them out. Okay, so there are the Supernova V4 headlights, and there are the Supernova V4 fog lights. So a lot of light right there. And then when I turn on these rigid cubes, it fills in around the top. I'm gonna turn them back off again. We'll head down the lane here and I'll show you another view, but you can see how it really fills in around the top of the beam pattern of the headlights and the fog lights, which again is exactly what I want out here on these rural roads with no traffic around. All right, so I'm driving down the lane now and I've just got the headlights on. The fogs are turned off and the aux lights are turned off. This is just the headlights. So you can see again the really sharp upper cutoff on these Supernova LED bulbs. Got a fantastic beam pattern. It's just fantastic. But watch what happens when I turn on these rigid cube lights. Wow, see all that extra light over on the side? See that? You can't hardly see over in the woods over there without those on, but as soon as I turn those on, look at that. And that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that was going to light up on the edges of the road when I'm at really slow speed out here on these rural lanes. You wouldn't think so, but there are a lot of deer that hang out over here on the sides of the road, and even when I get out to the paved portion of the road. So hopefully this will allow me to see these critters before they jump out in front of my Jeep and tear it up. Very nice. So there's a look at the rigid cube lights now that I've got them both installed. Again, this is the Flood Diffused pattern, which throws the most light and the largest arc around the front of the Jeep. And I'm going to turn on the Supernova fogs to go with them. All kinds of light output. Pretty happy with it. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the lighting videos for now. We're going to move on to some other things, maybe a little more suspension stuff coming this weekend, as it looks like I do still have a little bit of rubbing coming from the tires. So I'm going to tackle that issue maybe tomorrow. But for now, I got to get out of here. So I'll talk to you later.